Anybody remembers? I really like that melody. Shyamala Kishore said. Do you remember? Punjabi High. Should we try that one this morning?
That's good.
Gopi Janavadavani Radhani Jayarada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayarada Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavadava Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Gopi Jana Vallabha, Gopi Jana Vallabha, oh Gopi Jana Vallabha, oh Gopi Jana Shishira, Shishira, class is over. Shishi Radha Madhavashta Saki Panchatattva Prahlad Nrsimhadeva Ki Jai. Is that Tulsi branch? It looks like Tulsi branch. Is it? No worries. It's not? Let me see. Maybe not. It looks, it's too brittle, too hard. Probably from the basket. It's from the basket. It's from the basket. Anyway. Once you meet Tulsi, you see Tulsi everywhere. Tulsi. Ananda. And then Shyamala also has that invocation in Chaturman. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. We have tried. We'll practice more, and then you can tell her. A reading from the next chapter is chapter 18. A boy, Parikshit Curse by Brahman boy. I believe it's a section between 13 and 23. Is that what you have? 1 to 23. Oh, okay, the whole chunk. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet nashtaprayesva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Before reciting of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should make some conquest. Narayan Rishi. So, let's start. Verse 1. Sri Sutta Goswami said, due to the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who acts wonderfully, Maharaj Parikshit, though struck by the weapon of the son of Drona in his mother's womb, could not be burned. We're going to take turns.
Furthermore, Maharaj Parikshit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead, and therefore he was neither afraid nor overwhelmed by fear due to a snake bird, which was to bite him because of the fury of a Brahmana boy.
Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple of the son of Vyasa, Shukadev Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead, and at last gave up his material body on the bank of the Ganges.
This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their lives.
As long as the great powerful son of Abhimanyu remains the emperor of the world, there is no chance that the personality of Kali will flourish.
The very day and moment the personality of Godhead Lord Shri Krishna left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world.
Maharaj Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali.
Maharaj Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons.
O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Parikshit.
Who's speaking? Who's speaking? He says, "O sages."
O sages, as you did ask me.
So, who's talking? Who's saying, "Oh, sages"? Okay, Max. Five brown points. Good. Yeah, keep going, Max. Bruce.
I'll continue.
Yes, "Oh, sages."
Wait, I'm reading the text saying.
Wherever we are. Wherever we are.
Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead, who acts wonderfully.
The good sages said, O grave Sutta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame, for you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us.
Let's just pause there. So nice, right? What a nice exchange between the speaker and the hearer. So go back to 10 or 9 where it's "or sages." Yeah. As you did ask me, so let's go back. I think in the beginning of this wonderful chapter 1, entitled Creation. The whole first canto entitled Creation in chapter 1, where actually in chapter 2, where sages and Sutta Goswami start for the first time. What questions came up? There's 6 questions that they posed to the speaker. Anybody remember? I know it was a while back, but it's kind of important in this. Yes? Yeah, that's there, but there was 6 specific ones aside from that one. No, it doesn't matter the sequences. Go ahead. That's one of them. Now that Krishna is gone, where did the principles of this Krishna consciousness, the eternal religion, where did they go? What do we do now that Krishna is gone, the personification of religion or righteousness? Yes? Yes, that is the first one. Please tell us, what is the most beneficial activity for the humanity or entire mankind? And then especially in time of that. that's an add-on. More? We have 3 so far.
For what reason did Krishna take birth in the womb of Devaki?
Yes. Why? Why did Krishna appear in this world of suffering, transient world of suffering? So we got.
Describe the activities of the incarnations.
Please describe the activities of variety of ways that Krishna appears and comes for the function and purpose. And the last one is in regards to this world. Please describe also in how he comes in wonderful ways that are related to creation, maintenance, and destruction. That's Krishna coming in those kind of roles, or expanding himself in those kind of roles. So those are the 6 ones, and we can continue now. So this is in the context of these 6 questions that all the sages, of which there are many in Naimisharanya, I heard around approximately 80,000 sages, which is a large number. What's the capacity of the stadium, Gator Stadium here? 9. So imagine Sutta Goswami in the middle of the field. And no sound system. And they still sound. And actually, it's the idea of amphitheater and these depths of where the speakers are, it actually serves for that purpose. It's for the purpose of amplification. So all these arenas, sacrificial arenas, and nowadays stadiums, they're in that shape. So you can hear, even in like ancient Greek theaters, there's these amphitheaters that are like that. And actually, if you go there, I didn't go, but I heard people say, if you go there on the bottom, even if you whisper all the way to the top row, you can actually hear. Why? What's the physics here? Or how do we understand it? Anthony's not here, but he bought me the what you call it? The blowhorn. The original battery-free blowhorn. It's just a funnel. It's pretty much just a funnel. So if you place yourself on the bottom and you have an encasement around, which the arenas are, it will naturally amplify the sound. Isn't that wonderful way to apply things that work in our life? To build and to have an architectural consideration for the function of such a dwelling. Of course, provided that we didn't depend on electricity at that time. We didn't depend on artificial arrangements, but just what nature has provided, and that's the one. And then because it was far in ancient Greece, and also later during the Roman Empire, because it was very far to see all the actors that wear the masks. And these masks were sometimes happy, and sometimes they were sad. Sometimes they were red, sometimes they were blue, but there was some kind, mainly the color distinction, so you can actually distinct, this is the role that is attached to the blue mask. What do you think the name of these masks were? The 2 main categories of a drama. You have a comedy and tragedy, or Shakespeare has simplified for us. That the tragedy is the comedy that it's misunderstood. So these masks were called personas. They call these masks personas. So we also play so many. I was just talking to Anthony in a Boga shed. How busy our false egos are. How busy they are. Every morning, like with the chisels, they go like, actually even faster. Nowadays they have these 3D printers, like without chiseling, in no time they can print A false ego is very busy printing these personas that we put on. Oh, today you are happy. Today you are sad. Today you are in charge. Today, general manager in charge. Today you are a lowly pot washer. Is it lowly? But is it lowly or is it high? Nothing is low in an arena of devotional service. And we know that the evidence of that is that even the queens of Dwarka were very busy sweeping, dusting. Did Dwarka, did their dwellings needed that? Beautiful palaces? No, they were spotless. Nothing, not a speck of, still, they were busy. Why? Because there's so much nectar, so much bliss in act of devotional service, regardless of what that activity is. Menial, or actually it's all menial because we act in a capacity of, hopefully, we can act in a capacity of servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. And that is our only persona we aspire to carry. That is the true ego. Everything else needs to shut off. The true ego will give you bliss and insurance that you'll be successful in this life, and after this one, we'll go back home, back to God. Because Krishna says, love me. You love me, that's very nice. But actually, those who say they're my devotees, they're not my devotees. Those who are devotees of my devotees, I recognize as my devotees. Or as the Joe and Sally on the street, walking dog. They say, love me, love my dog. If you love their dog, immediately they'll know, oh, it's a nice person. That's a trick in book distribution. If you're trying to distribute books, you came across with somebody with a dog, be nice to the dog. You're increasing your chances. Okay, how did we end there? The questions by the sages. And Naimisharanya, how did they hear without the amplification? It was a natural arrangement. And it was wonderful. And this mood in studying text 9 and moving on all the way to 23, we'll see as we read on how wonderful and eager the audience is. All these 80,000, how eager they are to hear. Okay, let's continue. This is the context. Number 12.
We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead Govinda, which you are distributing.
So it's tolerable. Everything that we are doing, as Krishna says, all action in this world, it's covered with some kind of error, mistake. And then there's 3, like smoke and fire, embryo. Anyway, we can leave that alone. But somehow it's manageable. It's manageable. Why and how? Because we are actually very pleased to hear this Amrita, nectar of the lotus feet, hearing that you are just, hearing about the glories of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the nectar, this Amrita, coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. And it becomes the life becomes manageable, despite of all the smoke and disturbance. Mm-hmm.
The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death.
So we hear that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hoy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Even a moment of association of pure-hearted devotees can grant one all the perfection that we aspire in life, just a moment of association. And some might say, well, wait a minute. Actually, Prabhupada, when Prabhupada quoted that for the first time, devotees were like, wait a minute, we are with you, Prabhupada, we've been with you for so long. What's wrong with us? Why we are not benefiting with all the perfection one might aspire in life? So it takes some time. This Labha Matra, which it translates to 11th of a second or just a blink of an eye, it can be prolonged by this state of our heart. And he gave example, just like if the wood is wet, and it's very appropriate here because the smoke was mentioned earlier. If the wood is wet, mainly smoke will come. Some fire is there, but mainly smoke will come. And it will be very troublesome. And one might argue, when there's a smoke, there's fire, right? But you try cooking with that fire. It'll be very troublesome, and you'll end up hungry after attempting to eat, because that cooking will take a long time. So the state of heart has to be a proper state of heart, free from material aspirations. Then, moment will burst into a flame of our devotional life. In order to be a recipient or eager to hear the message or to appreciate the moment of association with pure devotee, there's a little caveat, a little requirement. One has to be materially exhausted. Akinchana gochara. For as long as there's hope that somewhere in this transient world full of suffering, I can actually settle and be happy, fulfilled for the eternity, it's illusion. There's no such a place. So for as long as there's hope against hope, we see that it's not working, but somehow we hope against hope that we can manage without Krishna. It will be very difficult to spark the revolution in our heart. And naturally, it will be very difficult to pass it on to others. So one has to become materially exhausted. Doesn't mean poor. Doesn't mean free from gold. We talked about that. Simplicity doesn't mean poor, ugly, or undeveloped. Simplicity just means simple. There might be gold, there might be opulent, but it's still simple. Right? We hear in Krishna book, after the birth of Krishna, so much wealth was distributed. Vrindavan is not a poor place. It's simple. It's not a poor place. The real wealth is the wealth of Krishna consciousness. So when the wealth of Krishna consciousness is there, then all other things will follow. Wherever the Krishna, the supreme mystic, is, wherever the Arjuna, the topmost archer, there will be victory, morality, opulence, and all these good things in life. And how did we get there? Yes, value of moment association. Okay. Okay. Let's continue.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Oh, Sutta Goswami.
O Sutta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord. because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages.
They're anxious, they're eager, please. Their life depends on that. Do you feel the drama? They're so eager, so anxious, because they want to hear. Yes.
Mr. Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of the birds. Those topics were vibrated? Oh, okay. By the son of Vyasa, Srila Sukadeva.
Thus please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaj Parikshit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga.
They want to hear so bad, they're thirsty. Yeah. If you're realizing you're in a desert of material existence, the most common lie we tell ourselves is, what it is, most common lie we tell ourselves? Okay, there's also a point question. And it's a good t-shirt also. I'm fine. I'm okay. It's the most common lie. You've been to book, anybody who's been to book distribution, that's the most common response. I'm okay. I'm fine, right? You can't be thirsty unless you're realizing, you're in a desert. Unless you're realizing you're in a desert and you're running after, what is it called? Mirage, phantasmagoria. Is that the word? Like animals. Oh, just now. I see it. It's there, somewhere in front of me. Just now will come. And eventually, it just drops dead. This is the sad story of animal-like life. They're eager, they're thirsty. Lolyam, yesterday was mentioned. Lolyam, eagerness. Krishna Trishna, thirsty of Krishna. They want to hear, they want to fill their ears. As Rupa Goswami, there's so much nectar in these syllables of Krishna. I want to have hundreds of tongues and hundreds of ears, thousands and millions. I can't, satiate myself. There's so much nectar. I want to just swim in it, like in a deep ocean of the holy name. We have to eat the names, meaning taste the names. Eat the names for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Prescribed diet. Taste the names. Krishna. Hare Krishna. And the other one, Rama Krishna. Rama Krishna, Rama Krishna. Rama. Just, it's a missing third part of the Mahamantra. In my devotional fantasy. Not verified yet. They're thirsty, they're eager. And then naturally the speaker, he will be inspired, he or she will be inspired to share, to install the deepest, things from their heart. So it becomes a loving exchange. Prabhupada said, transmitter and receiver, they are required for transmission. You can have the best, what's the latest model of your handheld device? Whatever it is. 6, I got 6. I got the 8. But if there's no tower and wherever that transmitter is, it's just, you can just throw it away. It's useless. And then vice versa, you can have the best tower, best transmitter, but if the receiver, you got no receiver, not even the Gopal's little flip phone, a little flippy. Okay. He won't curse me. Don't tell him. There'd be no signal. You'll be like holding your finger for the reception. Hello. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Doesn't work that way. Both are required. But we also have to be careful that as we are receiving the message, we are not nuisance or disturbance to the speaker. Close proximity can cause that. When you come too close to the fire, you can get burned. So familiarity is something to pay attention to, not to get over familiar. God forbid, offensive. That will just end the game. It's game over. And not even by, them being offended. It's by Krishna severing the cords, pulling the plug out. Then we are nowhere fast. Like they say even the mosquito is sitting on a throne, but it's simply a disturbance to the king. So close proximity really doesn't really guarantee anything. Like today, we are not so far, but we have no Prabhupada's personal association, but we can still associate and receive their full blessing, actually even more, because they say that the grandfather is more merciful to a child than the father. So more. So Prabhupada ain't gone. He's sitting right there. And he's there fully in his books. Rasika is in ecstasy because he's reading the books every day. He's swimming in the nectar and he's so kindly sharing it, making it available to everybody on a daily basis. He's not giving up. We applaud him for that. He's filling. Jai Prabhupada. Yes, we have to somehow or other become eager. So we'll hear about how do we become eager. We'll hear more.
Shri Sutta Goswami said, "O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from lower births."
So Sutta Goswami also was from a mixed caste, so-called lower birth. But still, Balaram installed him as a speaker. Not a, what is it? Suchi hoy, muchi hoy, yadi Krishna tyaje. You can repeat after me. Suchi hoy, muchi hoy, yadi Krishna tyaje. Muchi hoy, suchi hoy, yadi Krishna bhaje. What is the meaning? Correct. Haribo. Yes, correct. So there's no disqualification. You just Yadi Krishna Bhaje. Just add Krishna to your life, and everything will become auspicious. Yes. And what to speak? And what to speak of those who are under the direction of a great devotees, chanting the holy name of the Unlimited, who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency, and transcendental by attribute is called Ananta, unlimited. And three more.
It is now ascertained that he, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to him. Consequently, no one can speak of him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of the goddess of fortune, even by prayers. But this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although he is unwilling to have such service.
Who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme?
Who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a wonderful welcome. This very water, the Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva.
Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including the gross body and subtle mind, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, by which non-violence and renunciation are consequential. And the final.
Rishis, who are as powerfully pure as the sun, I shall try to describe to you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned. As the birds fly in the sky as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows.
And purport? Purport? It's a beautiful analogy, 23, yeah. Beautiful analogy of the birds in the sky. They fly in different levels, different altitudes. Purport. The Supreme Person, Max, you want to go for it? I love when you remind me of those Prabhupada's tapes, tapes, CDs, MP3s, when some of Prabhupada disciples would read. Maybe you were there, who knows? Go ahead.
The supreme absolute truth is unlimited. No living being can know about the unlimited by his limited capacity. The Lord is impersonal, personal, and localized. By his impersonal feature, he is all-pervading Brahman. By his localized feature, he is present in everyone's heart as the supreme soul. And by his ultimate personal feature, he is the object of transcendental loving service by his fortunate associates, the pure devotees. The pastimes of the Lord in different features can only be estimated partly by the great learned devotees. So Srila Sutta Goswami has rightly taken this position in describing the pastimes of the Lord as far as he is realized. Factually, only the Lord himself can describe himself, and his learned devotee also can describe him as far as the Lord gives him the power of description.
I was born in darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual masters have opened my darkened eyes. They were shut with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances to your spiritual masters 3 times daily, at least. Unless there's a power given to us, we can't describe anything. Ultimately, only the unlimited one, Ananta, means unlimited, can describe. Actually, even he himself, he struggles to understand himself. That's why we have Mahaprabhu coming to understand, to try to understand in the mood of Radha. He is Antar Krishna Bahir Gora. Internally is Krishna, but it comes in a golden complexion. Externally appears as Gauranga. Gauranga. Just to try to taste or to understand his unlimited nature, because Radha's love, what's the nature of Radha's love? Fresh, unlimited, inconceivable, all-encompassing. You just can't. Unfathomable. Yeah, that you just can't understand. You just can't understand. When Did you know that Radharani visited Dwarka? When her and her gopi friends visited Dwarka, there was a lake in Dwarka that Radha wanted to take back. And all the gopis put a long piece of cloth all around the lake just to make it more private for her, so she can in the morning take a nice bath. And all the queens of Dwarka, Satyabhama and Rukmini, Kalindi, Satya, so many, they heard. And they were like, who is this? What is village girl? Rustic village girls around our lake. And it was there also morning ritual, but gopis were earlier. And all the great warriors of Yadu dynasty also came. It was part of the entourage of morning ceremony. And when they saw the young rustic village girls, when they saw them, they're also like, who are these? And the moment the gopis, simple village girls, noticed, and they looked at these powerful warriors, there was so much power in their look. That all the powerful warriors, they were like, oh my God. It was like a teacher, a teacher scolding a student just with eyes. and the student was frozen because there was so much power just in the glance of the gopis. And when the Radha finished with the bath, and the veil was lifted, her power just mesmerized all the queens of Dwarka. And they were like, actually they fainted. Flat. They'd never seen anybody with so much love, like unconditional love, that was just like emanating. The intensity of Radha's love. It just fainted. The queens of Dwarka. Go figure. The unlimited one is Ananta. And we try to understand and figure out with our teeny-weeny pea-like brains, limited brains, when everything is actually understood through devotion, through the heart. Intelligence also needs some convincing, but ultimately it's by the process of surrender, which is the act of love, trust, love and trust, that Prabhupada gave us. And there's a beautiful prayer in the chapter of after the deliverance of Yamal Arjuna trees. If you pull out 10, I think 33, there's a beautiful prayer by Yamal Arjuna trees and a beautiful purport. It says, O Lord, whose glories are covered by your own energy, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you're Sankarshan, the origin of creation, and you're Vasudev, the origin of Chaturvyuha, because you're everything and therefore the Supreme Brahman. We simply offer our respectful obeisances unto you, and that is sufficient. You don't have to get too complicated. If you just offer your sincere, respectful obeisances, just listen to the purport. Max, you ready? This is a very nice purport.
Yes, sir.
You are needed again. Wakey, wakey, wakey. And then we're going to open.
Instead of trying to understand Krishna in detail, it is better to offer our respectful obeisances unto him, for he is the origin of everything and he is everything. Because we are covered by the material modes of nature, it is very difficult for us to understand unless he reveals himself to us. Therefore, it is better for us to acknowledge that he is everything and offer obeisances unto his lotus feet.
2 times. It is better in a relatively short purport. It's pretty clear, right? Don't waste your time. Start now. Yes, Rasika, Prabhu.
Just contemplating this, the thoughts about Radha's love, and it's so profound that even Krishna himself doesn't quite understand the intensity and the profundity of her love, and he wants to know what is it that she experiences. Mm-hmm. And in order to have that experience himself and know Radha's love, he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mm-hmm. And even as Mahaprabhu, he struggles because the depths of unconditional love are unlimited. Mm-hmm. So it becomes just the endless unfoldment of beauty that somehow we can get a preview to. Yes, Prabhu, Gopi.
I just wanted to make 2 quick comments. The first one is on the example you gave of a deer or some animal in the desert going after a mirage. There's a really nice philosophical point made by Prabhupada. Unfortunately, my dull brain, I can't remember exactly where it's from, but maybe in one of his purports or so. He makes the philosophical point that the animal thinks it's seeing water, and it's just, of course, heat waves and light reflection. But still, the animal knows what water is and is going after water. That means water actually exists. So in the same way, just the fact that we're looking for some sort of lasting happiness, philosophically, the fact that we're looking for it means that it does exist. So we can know that the spiritual world and spiritual absorption and spiritual bliss does exist.
Yeah.
So that's a very nice philosophical point. And the other thing I just wanted to say on the topic of the power of a moment's association. This year, the last few months have been very interesting because unfortunately for us, Kadambakana Swami left the planet, and it's only after his passing that the full realization, and of course it'll come even stronger, I think, as the years pass, the realization of what effect he had on my life. Because for about 11 years or so, I got his association constantly. He would come to South Africa 3 times a year, every single year. Mm-hmm. So much time spent with him. And in the wake of his passing, I can feel a tremendous drive, a tremendous source of fuel for my spiritual life, a determination and an enthusiasm, because you know that he was and still is rooting for you, and he has high hopes for your spiritual life. So it's not, so these personalities are thinking about us, actively praying for us, asking Krishna to help us advance, and I can feel the power of that.
They're making all the arrangements. And it is their final and greatest gift when they leave to us. That feeling of separation. It is their final and greatest gift. Yes, Jonathan. You had a hand up or no?
Sure.
No, not sure. Not sure. Yeah. That was the final one. Final one, and
okay. I was just meditating on this, this verse that you pulled up about when we know Krishna's opulence. Like, I don't know. For me, it really resonates. Like, I don't need to try to figure it out or understand all of it. Like, sometimes when I'm reading those purports and it's describing everything, it's like I'm just having to kind of get through it. It's kind of like purifying. And it's purifying to hear, but I don't need to understand all of the details of these things. I just need to know the power of it and offer my obeisances to that. But also, it's nice to realize and know that our relationship with Krishna doesn't stop at that either. Like, with his majesty and his opulences, you offer your obeisances to that. But with his personality, you offer your life and your love and your service. And so it's nice to have that.
Yeah, it's a beginning. It's entrance to the more intimate personal relationship with the same Supreme, Unlimited Lord Ananda. On that note, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Of Shri Govinda, the Supreme Personality of God.